Hey, welcome to my story. I'm so glad you joined me today, whatever platform you watch or listen on. Thank you. We're glad that you do. I'm back today with my friend O.
Hi, Pastor Angela. How are you?
I am absolutely wonderful.
Oh, good. You look good.
I'm glad you're, so are you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm glad you're here. As my granddaughters would say, Miss O has those fairy eyes.
Okay.
Miss O has those fairy eyes. They called her eyes fairy eyes.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you're here today. It's always fun to get together and tell stories, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Talk about the goodness of God.
Amen.
You got a story for me today?
I probably have a whole bunch of them, but I'm just trying to figure out which story I could tell you.
You don't know which one you want to tell me?
It's, the story could be is when I was married before.
Tell me about it.
And in that marriage, it was very abusive.
Right.
And, due to him being first of all, he was a cheater.
Oh, my.
So when he didn't come home for a couple of days, that was an issue. And that's because he was an alcoholic. He was a drug addict.
Mm-hmm.
And he was abusive. So with that being said, that was very hard on me because, with that, I was trying to fight for him.
Yeah.
Because when you leave your parents' house, one of the things that you get into your brain is you graduate or you go to college,
right?
Or you go to work and you go get married. You find you a husband, and you have a family. Well, that's what I tried to do. And, I thought I loved him. I can't say I didn't.
Great.
I loved him. I had 3 children. But, as the years went on, things changed.
Right.
And so he was just, it just got worse. Some of those beatings that I received just wasn't, I'm still here.
Praise God.
I am still here. And I am grateful for God because I had to turn to God, right? To try to, I said, Lord, why do I have to go through this? Why do I have a husband? Does he not love me? Why is he doing this to me? Well, it took me years later to figure out, he loved me, but he didn't know how to show that he loved me.
Right.
Because he wasn't right.
Okay.
He didn't have God in his life, and I didn't have God in my life at that time.
Right.
I knew of God, but I did not have that relationship with God. And so he didn't know of. So more things, the drugs was more important than me and his children. There's many of times that we went Christmas without Christmas.
Oh, wow.
For the children, because that's where that money went to. But you know what? I look back and, I see women where they say, I was abused and I can't live. I can't do it anymore. I'm not that person. I have been fighting all my life and I'm still a fighter. And, even with the episode before when me and you were talking, we were talking about the people in Florida that they came and put their hands on you. I'm still that fighter.
Yeah.
I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to protect anybody that is with me. And so I had to protect myself. And, I hate to say it, but with my husband, I got so tough from him hitting me that the hits didn't hurt anymore.
Oh, wow.
So when you get tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of being abused, you can't take it anymore. Well, the movie came out with Tina Turner. What Love Got to Do with it.
Uh-huh.
And I said, okay, I seen this movie. I said, okay, she had to go through that. She went through this. She gave her life story on this.
Wait, she was a story?
It was a story. It was a true story.
So you related to her story?
I related to that.
Right.
Like Turner. I related to that. And so when I seen her, she couldn't take it anymore. She couldn't take that abuse anymore. She got her a skillet and she whooped him good with that skillet before she did her exit plan. I'm sorry. I love the Lord, but I had to use that skillet.
You really did use the skillet?
I used the skillet because I had to protect myself. And that was the time that I had to do my exit plan. I had to take my children and I had to move because they did not need to see what was all the time. Would they think this was normal? No, that's not normal. This is not how a mother or father treats each other.
Right.
So I, any woman that has feel like they have been loved the wrong way, or they have been abused. I don't care what kind of abuse it is. It could be mental, it could be physical, it could be sexually. That's right. You don't need to be there. Get that exit plan.
What was your exit plan? How did you make that for somebody that's listening or watching and they're in that situation, they're hearing you and they're saying, okay, you got out. How did you get out?
I had got me a second job, and I started putting that money into a plan. Into a bank account that was my bank account, because I had to find us a place to go to. I had to sway him, because I had a house full of children. I had my 3 plus his 2. So I told him, I said, I can't take this anymore. You need to take your children back home to their mamas, because I can't do this anymore with all these children. And so he did. So while he was taking those children back to where they belong, out of town, I moved the whole house.
Oh, wow.
So I had saved up enough money to plan and got me a place to move to take my children with me so that we could start a new chapter.
And you started a new chapter, and you said earlier, I'm still here.
I'm still here.
Which makes me think about Daniel when they threw him in the lion's den, and when the king, who was heartsick about it because he really liked Daniel, went to check the next morning, Daniel should have been devoured.
Right.
And he hollered out Daniel's name, and Daniel said, don't worry about it, O king, I'm still here. I'm still here. So that could be your testimony today, that you are still here. And I might add, not only are you here, but you're happily married to the associate pastor at our ministry.
Oh, yeah.
And you're also, I believe, the last couple of months, you've been the top 10.
Oh, yes. In my
real estate. And real estate?
Yes. I've been in my real estate. I have been the top 10 in the probably the last 4 months in real estate. So I am, that is a God thing.
Yeah.
Because he is leading. I always say he's my CEO.
Yeah,
and he is my the CEO of my company, and I tell that to everybody. And I'm glad that I had a second chance.
Yes,
to be able to find a man that loves me for me and for me only, and my children. He took me in with 3 kids.
Yes, he did.
He loved me.
Yes,
and he loved my 3 children.
Yes.
And I love the God in him.
Yes, and he is full of God. Can we say that in that situation, in the first marriage, he didn't really know God, but probably you didn't know him like
I didn't know,
like you know him now?
No.
And it makes me think about in Acts, it talks about the true God is the creator of all things. He is the owner and the Lord of the heavenly realm and the earthly realm, and he doesn't live in man-made temples. He supplies life and breath and all things to every living being.
My God.
And I think about you when you've told me this story many times, and there's much more to it than what you're sharing here. But when I read that, I think about he supplies life and breath and all things to every living being. How that when you were in that situation, God was supplying life and breath to you.
He was.
Because most women don't survive those things.
No, and that's one thing that I said. As I was moving on, I see how women have suffered. I said, I'm not going to be that woman.
Yeah.
I'm going to go forward. I'm not going to look back. Yeah, I'll look back when I have to do that testimony of to be able to help somebody.
To help somebody. And I like it too because it says he doesn't lack a thing. God doesn't lack a thing.
No.
And then it says, for he is the God who is easy to discover.
Yes.
And when I think about you and your situation, the truth of the matter is you discovered God.
Yes, I did. Because I said, God, it got to be more than this.
Yeah.
It has to be more than this in my life. What do I supposed to do? And because, I'm going to be honest with you, Pastor Angela, at that time, I was the CEO of churches.
Yeah.
Christmas and Easter only. Yes, that was me. That was me. But I would take my kids. But as the years went through, and we went more and more and more, I realized that I was eating. I was chewing. I was chewing. I was eating, and I was getting a little bit. I was like, oh, yeah, I can relate to that story. I can relate to that story. And then as the years went by, I wanted more.
You begin
Because God was giving desire in my heart to want more. And so when I came here to Faith Builders, God opened up my ears, my eyes to everything, where I seen things differently. Now I said, okay, I had to go through that. And I ain't the only one out there.
Yeah.
I went through that.
Yeah.
And so I am just, I'm in awe of God of what he brought me through. You know, I told somebody yesterday, I said, I went from a 1977 Braggedy Monte Carlo to having a right now, and it's just the object.
Sure.
But it was a goal for me.
Yeah.
To driving a Mercedes.
Yeah.
But it was a goal.
Yeah.
But it's just an object.
Because he says, when you discover God, God will supply all your needs.
Yes.
According to his riches and glory.
Yes.
And you discovered God, and he's easy to discover.
It is.
And whatever you may be facing today, you may be in an abusive marriage like but we hope that her story today
was.
Thank you. She was in an abusive situation. But we hope that her story today has given you hope that there is a way out. And no matter how you might be feeling right now, you can drive a Mercedes. You can turn your life around. You can be the top 10 realtor in the city.
Everything.
If that's your desire, if that's your goal, you don't have to stay stuck.
Right. That's right.
You can get out. And again, you said you made a goal. You had goals.
Yes.
You made an escape plan.
I did.
And you followed through.
I followed through. I kept to the plan. You did. And it was hard because the devil always wants to come in and steal, kill, and destroy.
Absolutely.
But he don't realize that what I went through, it made me tough.
Made you tough.
So things just go right over my head nowadays. So I really don't care. I don't care if people look at me and they see one thing like me praising God.
Sure.
Because I'm a praiser.
Yes, you are.
I love God, and I know what he brought me through.
That's right.
And so nobody know your story but you.
Nobody but
God. And so I can honestly say I don't care what people say anymore. I'm going to do what God tells me to do.
When you find whom your soul loveth.
Yes. Amen. That's good.
It changes everything.
It does. It does.
So if you haven't discovered God today, it's our prayer that you will.
Yes.
You know, you can discover him in bad situations.
Yes.
You don't have to be in a church service.
Nope.
With people jumping and shouting and singing and joy. You don't have to be in an atmosphere like that to discover it.
Yeah.
I remember when I discovered God for real.
Yeah.
It was not in a pleasant situation. Right. I was actually all alone in a room by myself, and I realized I had been in religion for the majority of my life, and I had not been in relationship. And right there in the corner of a yellow room, I'll never forget that. Yellow paint.
Been really yellow.
In the corner of a yellow room, I said, God, I need you to make yourself real to me. I need to discover who you are for myself. You know what? The minute I uttered those words, the discovery of who God was began in my life. And I began following his plan, following his pattern.
Yeah.
And he's the same yesterday, today, and forever. He does not change. So my prayer for you today is that this story will help you to discover the God who causes you to breathe, causes you to prosper, who causes you to live, who brings life and brings joy.
Yes.
That's the God we want you to know.
Yes, Lord.
I thank you for joining me today. Get your pen, get your journal, go write your story, And remember, we serve a God who sees and hears and cares. We love you. We'll see you next time on My Story.
Thank you for listening to the My Story podcast. We appreciate your support and hope this week's episode was a blessing to you. For inspiring stories, be sure to follow, like us, and share this with a friend. Until next time, thank you and be blessed.